dignitaries, and esteemed faculty members in today's faculty development program on creating impactful learning ecosystems. A holistic approach to student satisfaction focuses on strengthening the academic environment through effective teaching practices, student support system, and meaningful institutional processes. This program brings together valuable perspectives to help us create a more supportive and impactful educational experience. To begin this program with the welcome address, I respectfully invite Professor Dr. Brijesh Khandelwal, Sir, Director Quality Assurance and Enhancement, Amity University, Lucknow campus, to kindly deliver the welcome address. We are sorry, actually, there is a technical glitch. Sir is just joining.
Deepti, what is the issue?
Sir, there is a technical glitch.
Okay, right. So maybe you can contact him on phone and we can start the program.
Yes, sir. Sir is trying.
Yeah. If it's going to take
Yes, sir.
time, we can start the program.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Deepti, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Yeah. Uh, Sir, this was a issue with the system, with the computer. Now I have to join with the mobile. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. If I am audible, should I begin with this?
Yes, please,
Yes, sir.
please. Go.
Can,
Please go ahead.
Deepti?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon. A very good afternoon to one and all present here in this FDP on creating impactful learning ecosystem, a holistic approach to student satisfaction. On behalf of Quality Assurance and Enhancement Department, I am honored to welcome all the faculty members from all the institutes present in this very important faculty development program. I express my sincere, heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Dr. Anil Vashiji, for his unwavering support and gratitude, encouragement, and motivation for organizing such learning events from time to time. I also wish to place in record the gratitude to Deputy Pro Vice Chancellor, Sir, Wing Commander Dr. Anil Kumar Tiwari ji, and Dean Academics Professor Dr. Rajesh K. Tiwari ji for their continuous support for conduct of such events. The key resource person for this FDP that includes Professor Dr. Rajesh K. Tiwari ji, Professor Dr. S.Z.H. Jaibi Sahab, Professor Dr. Rajiv Verma ji, Dr. Jaspal Kandhari ji, Mr. R.K. Singh, and Ms. Niti Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, to enable the objective of this faculty development program is to enable faculty and staff for better understanding the key drivers of student satisfaction across academic and administrative domains. Key to strengthen communication and relationship building skills with students, incubating non-teaching interactions to provide actionable strategies to improve student support, counseling, and effectiveness and overall engagement, to enhance efficiency and transparency in academic processes such as examinations, registrations, re-registrations, etc. Likely outcome of this FDP is to improve student satisfaction across all surveyed parameters. Number two, betterment of inclusion of student-friendly academic and administrative processes. And number three, and last, enhanced faculty capabilities in mentoring, counseling, and students' engagement. Today's FTP promises an enlightenment experience and will certainly offer valuable insights and practical guidance, making it a highly beneficial experience for all participants, I believe. Thanks and welcome you once again in this FTP. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir,
May I
for
now
your gracious
request
words.
our Honorable Deputy Provincial Sir to have an overview discussion on this FDP.
Thank you, Dr. Brijesh. Am I clearly audible?
Yes, absolutely. You are very clear, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. At the outset, good evening to all my esteemed colleagues and all the faculty members and ladies and gentlemen who have joined this very, very important faculty development program. I'm really very happy that we are deliberating on such an important topic, which is creating impactful learning ecosystem, a holistic approach for student satisfaction. At the outset, let me tell you that I hold my esteemed colleagues in very high esteem, and you're all very, very learned people. You're all good teachers. And Amity is indeed very fortunate to have a set of very smart students, very capable students. So theoretically speaking, smart teachers, good academicians, and good students should make an automatic, impactful teaching learning environment. But that is not so. Because impactful learning ecosystem is something much, much beyond that. It's actually a very complex combination of your curriculum. People are very important, Then technology, it plays a very vital role. And of course, the industry, because you're not training people, impactful learning is not for yesterday, it is for tomorrow. And then culture plays a very important role. That what is the values you draw your students and community from? So it's a very, very complex combination, and that calls for awareness, it calls for a learned discussion, and it calls for reaffirmation of the things that we already know. Because having been with the Amity system for last more than a decade, I find it is one of the finest system that has been tuned. The gaps are that all of us coming at various instances of time, either we are not aware, or even if we are aware, we need to reaffirm, we need to relearn. So I really applaud this effort wherein QA's Dr. Brijesh Khandelwal, Director QA's, has taken initiative to initiate this very important discussion, learning endeavor amongst all faculty. Well, when we talk about the overview, I was just looking at the speakers that we have got. So whatever points I have in overview, they're almost covered, and they're reasonably covered. In my opinion, an impactful learning system, ecosystem, gets created by learner-centric design. And I think my colleague and good friend, Dr. Rajesh, is going to cover it very, very nicely with academic processes and all. We are very fortunate that we are in a cusp of time when we are seeing something like national education policy. If you see, it is one of the most idealistic and practical way to learner-centric design. Things like ABC, Academic Bank of Credits, things like multiple exit and readmits is a wonderful concept. And I was part of the 57th Academic Council meeting. And I have seen university take, big steps towards improving the impactful learning ecosystem. And I'm quite sure that in due course, I will share those proceedings with the majority of you. And you can see how your university is creating, new benchmarks, especially Honorable Chancellor brainchild, Boundless program that has created a big hit, and I'm quite sure that in due course, we'll all get wiser on the subject. Another very, very important thing, an impactful learning system is created by faculty as mentors. It's very important. Like we remember, if we don't like the looks of the mathematics teacher, we'll never learn mathematics, So a teacher is not just an academician, he's a mentor. And towards this, I think Professor Zaidi, who holds a great deal of experience in human psychology, would dwell upon how it impacts the human learning process. Of course, there are other components also like industry integration. And towards this, I think light would be thrown because we have NTCC, we have live projects. Then, of course, technology, like I said, it's a very, very big pillar. But technology with human touch, that is very important. For example, you have learning management system, that's technology. But then you cannot overlook things like labs where you work with your own hands. And peer learning, very, very important. Never undermine peer learning. Maybe students have boundaries, but when they talk to their colleagues, peer learning makes learning very, very, very effective. Then, of course, there is assessment, which is another big pillar, and it's going to be covered by the examination department. And then one of the most important thing which I can see is talking about physical space and the digital space. Physical space we do provide, for example, our libraries, your mutual conference rooms, which give that, and lounges which have been created in the library. These places are very important because they provide an ambience for a student to have impactful learning. And then, of course, there are tools like VR labs, virtual reality labs, and so many other options are there. I'm quite sure that you're all aware of it. But like I said, a faculty development program is not only a one-way delivery, but it's a discussion forum where we dwell upon all these topics. We resensitize, we reaffirm what we already know. And this discussion paves way for a big learning. And of course, figuring out how we make it more impactful and we reassess the learning process from students' perspective. Thank you for making me a part of this, and I'll be observing the proceedings very, very closely. My good wishes to each and every one of you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. We shall now begin the technical sessions of the program. For session 1 on academic processes and teaching and learning, I request Professor Dr. Rajesh K. Tiwari Sir, Dean Academics, Amity University, Lucknow campus, to kindly take the first session of this FDP.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to share because of the internet problem. Just give me a
Your
minute.
slides are visible, but it's not on the
Yeah,
mode.
I'm doing so.
There is some problem with the laptop also, like internet and laptop. Using
Just
mobile.
give me a minute. Is it visible now?
सर विजिबल है बट प्रेजेंटेशन में नहीं है सर.
हाँ वही मैं कर रहा हूँ सर. देखता हूँ क्या प्रॉब्लम. Now it is in presentation mode, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So shall we start?
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir.
So very good afternoon, Honorable Deputy Pro Vice Chancellor Sir, Dr. Brijesh Khandelwal, the organizer of this FDP, Dr. Rajiv Verma, Professor Zaidi, and my all faculty and staff colleagues, those who have joined, and rest others are in the process of joining. So I have been given a task to share with you about the academic processes and the teaching learning processes, and how these academic processes and the teaching learning processes are impactful in creating a learning ecosystem at MIT. So first of all, as I always emphasize on these lines, and as a Dean Academics, my job is to put the things in place in this manner. Systematic and discipline in academics is the backbone of institution of higher learning. And this is something which I believe the most. With this word, I would say, with my 30 years of experience and 20 years of experience as an administrator at MIT, the MIT academic system is highly dynamic. It's not a static one. It is outcome-based. It is highly process-oriented as well. It is student-centric and the transparent as well. So student centricity is at the core, and rest of the processes are revolved around it. And how to ensure the student centricity in our system, the feedback, the surveys, and analysis of it is very important. So my whole discussion is based on why feedback and surveys are important. So first we will try to understand and develop understanding on the student satisfaction. What is student satisfaction and how can we measure the student satisfaction? I will be very objective and very precise as well, so that you should not get bored to the top. So we use two methods, feedback and periodical surveys. We can theoretically, we can have many, but I will focus on these two aspects only. And it provides a structured platform for students to express their experiences, concern, and expectations. And our whole efforts are to make them happy at the end of the closing of the processes. So how it helps the institution as well? It helps us in identifying the gaps in teaching and learning process, academic administration, and the support services, enabling timely corrective actions as well. The regular analysis ensures continuous improvement, promote transparency and strength. Trust building with the students to the institution is very important thing, and ultimately it leads to more responsive student-centric learning environment, which is at the core of all the academic processes. So from to Wah is our main aim and objective to put the processes in place so that everyone is happy at the end. Now, I have quite a few questions which will sensitize you with your teaching and learning process. You must ponder upon how to improve the student engagement in the process. And this is something which is very, very striking problems nowadays that we are facing as a teacher. How to equip the student with the 21st century knowledge, skills, and attitude. We have the knowledge, skill, and attitude. These are the three verticals which are very, very important for the teaching and learning process. And how to transform the knowledge into the skill is more important. And it is the focus of NEP 2020, if I would say. How to ensure the continuous improvement in curricula, because without improvement of the curricula with the industry and academia needs, the student's learning cannot be achieved at its best. How to ensure examination system reinforce teaching and learning and not only the grade-based system. How to teach a large class is another important thing, and a lot of methods are available. And lifelong learning and self-learning ability is another objective that we have to target to infuse in the students throughout the teaching learning process. So these are the few questions that I have kind, and after the presentation we will try to find out the answer of these questions. And if we could answer these questions, we would be able to justify our presence in the academic system. Now, the first and foremost and most important thing is the feedback. As you know, and we have been doing this process for the last several years, there are two ways to take. The first is the post-commencement faculty feedback, which is active and given by all the students to all allotted faculty after 4 weeks of commencement of the program. And the second one is the pre-examination faculty feedback, which opens 2 weeks before the examination. So these are the few categories on which the students are supposed to give their feedback: the course delivery, the field connectivity, continuous evaluation, internal marks assessment, and personality and behavior. This is very, very important. Likewise, the pre-examination, the same 5 categories are there, and on which the students are supposed to. The allocation of marks is a bit different. In pre-examination, post-commencement, it is total 80 marks, and pre-examination, it is 100 marks. So whole structure is defined after a lot of deliberation. So there is no discrepancy at all, which most of the time the faculty members used to send. I will not go into much detail, because if I go much detail, it will take one and a half hour. So this is feedback is very, very important, and it is taken with a purpose. Now, it is not that the feedback source and there is no closing loop. Feedback is not just to quantify you on certain numbers and put the reports in file and forget. So it is not so. Feedback is available on Namizon, which is our portal, and feedback report is visible to HOI and the rest of the senior people as well. And HOI is supposed to take action on the feedback as well. And this is again a Amazon-driven process. We keep on doing it. And the purpose of generating action taken report is important to reinforce the teaching learning process as well. So just for your information, there is a method of closing of the loop. It is not just file and forget. Your feedback is also impacting your academic API score during the performance-based appraisal system. But this is not the sole objective of taking the feedback. It is, beyond it. Now, we have also developed a process of taking surveys. So student satisfaction survey was done in 2025. There are many surveys taken, but in field of academics, there were 5 on which I have been working to analyze and putting up the reports to the QA. First survey was done on teaching and learning process. It is of 29 parameter survey. Another survey was done on academic processes, which is a little smaller, 5 parameters. Relationship with the staff, non-teaching, 4 parameters. Satisfaction with the MIT University on various administrative process. There were 12 parameters. And overall satisfaction with quality parameter. There are 3 parameters. So these are the 5 surveys which is related to directly related to teaching and learning process with academic processes I have been working. I worked out 2 so far because it is time taking, and I will take these 2 only in my subsequent slide, particularly the survey on academic processes. Because if I take 29 parameters, it will take another 2 hours. I'll just give you a glimpse of it, that what is actually the survey and why, how students have responded. So please go through my talk very, very seriously, because at some point of time, you may be asked to give your feedback on it as well. So this is survey on teaching and learning process, 29 points. You would see a lot of questions has been asked on the faculty members. Say, for example, faculty members are accessible outside the classroom to help the student or not. Faculty members encourage students to participate in classroom discussions. Faculty members treat student as an individual, not just as a number. Likewise, faculty members strict follow the classroom timing. Faculty members are academically qualified to teach the course assignment to them. Faculty members follow the program learning objectives and syllabus strictly as per the session planning. Faculty members are able to communicate in English. Teaching aids are being used or not, and it has been monitored as well. The projectors, LCD, marker, duster are available on time or not. Laboratory equipment is another important thing. And I am well attended by my HOI, faculty members, mentor, in case I have any problem. So a lot of students have given their fair feedback on it. Another few important points that you can see, assessment criteria is clearly defined or not. Academic workloads on my course is manageable or not. Faculty members are enthusiastic about what they are teaching. And overall, I am satisfied with the quality of teaching, learning that I have received from the core courses. So these are the few parameters. Some parameters based on the overall satisfaction of the student as well. So for example, overall, I am satisfied with the quality of teaching. Overall, I am satisfied with the quality of teaching and the learning. I am given opportunity of the project work related to life situation and related to the industry as well. So see the 29th parameter, wherein the students were asked to give their feedback. May I request to please switch off your mic? I am getting disturbed. So these are the 29 parameters wherein the students have given feedback. I have analyzed it and show you some glimpses of it. So overall survey interpretation, if you see, there are 6,400 plus students when this survey was taken. Unfortunately, only 1,343 students that appear into it. Participation rate was 21%. And by interpreted the results, I have found that the survey is indicative, not representative. There is a self-biased, usually only very satisfied or dissatisfied student has responded. Hence, finding should not be taken as the impactful finding, but for the strong claims. But it gives some important indicators about the academic processes as well. Overall perception, total agreed or strongly agreed student, 70%, very, very good. There were 16% students who were neutral, and disagree or strongly disagree. There were 13 students who were disagree or strongly disagree. So interpretation to me is the campus environment is generally functional and acceptable. It is visible in 70% agreement of the student with the academic processes. The large number of neutral is very, very important because it indicates the emotional disengagement. I believe Professor Zadi would be able to emphasize on it in his talk as to why this 17% students have, neutral in the whole process. Either they are not agreed or they are not disagreed as well. Here is the glimpses of the data, which I made simple for you. You can see there were the 5 parameters, like there are no class clashes on the timetable. The timetable allocation of each lecture session is reasonable. lectures always begin on time. Dr. Khandelwal and his team keep on visiting, and even a 1 minute delay is considered as a gap. The student continuous evaluation methods are objective. Change in the timetable and is intimated timely to the students, and they have given their feedback on whether they are strongly disagree or disagree. Some are neutral, some are agree, and some are strongly agreed. Now I have further analyzed it, and again, the overall interpretation, survey interpretation, there were 6,400 students, only 1,349 students appear, which is around 21%. Survey is indicative, not representative, because the number is very, very less. It indicates that very satisfied or dissatisfied student responded, and finding should be used for the improvement only, but not strongly for making any opinion. Overall perception, strongly disagree 12%, neutral 17%, disagree around 70%. So let us take one by one. So first parameter was, there was no class clashes on the timetable. So now let's start here. So the first parameter was there are no clashes in the timetable. So observation, 11% disagree, out of which 7% around students were strongly disagreed, 15% student natural, and over 73% student agreed, out of which 51% student strongly agree. So you would say that over 70% students were agree. The rest others are, they have some reasons. I have also tried to find out the reasons. The overall positive response, strong confidence among the student about the timetabling. Neutral response indicate uncertainty. Some student may not be able to fully aware of the timetable with the timetabling methods. So overall interpretation, timetable planning is satisfactory at border level, but inconsistent on occasional class clashes indicates the strong disagreement of the student with the system. Scope of the improvement. So it is very, very important, because as Honorable Deputy Pro Vice Chancellor has emphasized that we are going to introduce the boundless courses, wherein any student of any stream can take any course of any of the institution. We have already introduced the unrestricted electives, open elective into main electives. So timetabling is a big, big challenge for each one of us as an academic administrator. So cross-institutional coordination is very, very important, and it has to be strengthened as well. Pre-semester validation is also taken into the consideration. Real-time issues resolution is very important at the program level, program leaders level. Buffer slot planning is important, as we have 7 sessions every day. So, and now, after introduction of the self-work and reduction of the credits, now we have plenty of time available. So buffer slot must be available, which can be used for, sudden changes in the timetable. And any change has to be clearly communicated to the student through Amazon and various other means, including the WhatsApp or email. So these are the scope of improvement, and we have to focus on all those things which are very, very important. It seems that the clear communication itself is taken into consideration, but most of the time the students come up with the complaint that they are not aware with the change in the timetable. So these are the scope of improvement. We have to think over it. Second important parameter is the time allocation for each lecture is reasonable. Observation, around 11% student disagree, 14% neutral, and 73, you may say above 70% student are agree. It is the same result as the parameter 1. So I would say the highly positive response from the students, as over 70% students show agreement with the process. strong satisfaction level. Minor concern area like a small group of the student perceive the duration as not too long or too short. Possibly it depends on the subject complexity or the teaching style as well. The neutral response indicate the variability. Some students may experience different cross courses where certain sessions feel rushed while others seems extended. So it is the perception of the students that is visible in form of neutral response as well. Or interpretation, lecture duration is well accepted and appropriate in general, but minor adjustment must be done as the need base of the syllabus as well as the students' requirement. The scope of improvement, a lot of scopes are there. Say, for example, adopt flexible teaching approach. Break lectures into small segments with short introduction for the activities. And this is scope of the improvement as important for each one of us. We have the long experience of teaching and learning, but once the improvement scope is presented before you in a structured way, it hits the actual point in your thought process. So include engagement intervals like use discussion, quizzes, recap sessions within the lecture to maintain the attendance. Just not keep on, using the students as a receptacle of knowledge and keep just put your PPT and keep on, delivering the lecture. It will not work. That's just based on the subject needs. So some subject required a lot of, figures, facts and figures, photographs, flow charts. And in some courses, a lot of formulas are required. So accordingly, adjust the subject need. Faculty sensitization encourages faculty to manage pacing effectively within the given time. And the periodical feedback of the students in the classroom would help you to keep on track. Now we have also started the peer review process this semester, and the next semester we will come up with a very structured way, and each and every classes will be peer reviewed. The purpose is to, just to make you flexible, make the classes more engaging, and adjust according to the need of the student and the subject, and to align the whole process with the objective of the program. The third important parameter was lecture always begin on time. The observation again, around 11% student disagree, out of which 6% strongly disagree. 15% student neutral. Again, I would request Jadi Saab to emphasize on it, because I am not able to, give a very clear, explanation of it why students are neutral. Because in our system, Jadi Saab, everything is online, everything is shared. No one can say that this is not shared. Everything is well understood. It is absolutely objective. There is no subjectivity at all. Even then, the students are neutral. So we need to understand it. And at the same time, so over 73%, 74% students are agree. So when processes are same, then why this is the difference? Okay, I have analyzed it, but I myself is not very convinced on these two things. So interpretation, students largely feel the lecture began in time, and our QA, हैं साहब, खंडेलवाल साहब, लगता है फोन ऑन बंद कर दिया इन्होंने. Anyway, so
there is some technical issue, that's why he is not present, I think.
Okay.
Yes, sir, there is technical issue.
So students largely feel the lecture began in time, and we also feel that the lectures are began in time. Maybe 1 or 2 minute gaps are there, which is not very, very important. A significant proportion strongly agree, indicating the faculty members generally respect the schedule timing. I have no doubt about it. Every faculty member is responsible enough and experienced is enough to respect the scheduling time. Minor inconsistency may be observed, which may be due to the operational factor involved due to back-to-back classes or faculty movement across the blocks, because this is something which cannot be, avoided. Overall perception, faculty is punctual in the classroom. They honor the directions, and they are smart enough to handle the operational issues as well. but still there are certain scope of improvement issue, which are like ensure buffer time between the classes while making the timetable. We give the 5 minutes as per the framework.
Sir, we have a request.
Kandelwal sahab, dekh rahe na? I have done very hard work. Don't send me any gap.
Sir. We respect your hard work, sir. Sure, thank you.
So ensure the buffer timing, as and when wherever possible, give the break. Encourage faculty to reach classroom before scheduled time. They used to do it. Monitor punctuality through academic coordinators or HY level, which is very, very important, because program leaders and the HY are the immediate person who can help the faculty to conduct the classes in time. By saying so, I am not intended to communicate to you that you are not in class in time. Everyone is in class in time. Hardly there is a few cases where the gaps are there, and these are because of the operational issues that we understand. So minimize room changes, delay by optimizing the classroom allocation, which may not be possible in some cases, but we have to work as far as possible. Communicate it clearly in case of unavoidable delay. So wherever the changes are there, faculty must inform the student and also the peer, so that things can be interpreted in that way only. The fourth one is the student continuous evaluation methods are objective. So here objectivity means not the objective questions in the continuous evaluation method. Objectivity means the assessment process is rule-based, well-defined scheme is there, it is fair, transparent, and no opinion-based continuous evaluation is done. When we talk about a continuous evaluation, it doesn't mean the mid-semester examination, I would say. It means the evaluation should be continuous throughout the semester based on the defined parameters as well. So again, the student has given the feedback on it. 12% student disagree, 17% neutral again, and the 70% in all the cases, it is the student which are agree with the system, out of which 48% student strongly disagree for this parameter, strongly agree for this parameter. Overall interpretation, positive perception, large proportion believes in evaluation is unbiased, reflecting trust in the assessment process. Neutral response may indicate some clarity is not there with the students, but it's fine, it happens. Improvement, assessment scheme which is defined on Amazon must be shared with the student through interactive session as well. And this is what I believe, that it will reduce the number of disagreement category as well as the neutral category, because sometimes students, they are not very interested in going through Amazon all the times. So when you are interacting with them, just show the well-defined assessment scheme and the timetable of assessment as well, so that they are aware through direct interaction. Provide justification for more marks awarded through feedbacks or the comment. You can show them the sheets and you can make them aware with the assessment process as well. Conduct moderation or review of the internal assessment. Mainly maintain fairness is another important thing. So wherever required, if you wish and if you think or the student think that justice is not done with them, you can review the whole process as well, as far as the continuous evaluation is concerned. The last one is the changes in timetable are intimated timely. Observation again, 30% student disagree, 15% student neutral, 70% student agree with the process. Interpretation, a significant portion strongly agree, suggesting that the timetable is published on Amazon timely. Some student report delay, indicating that the timetable published may not always be timely or uniformly disseminated. Changes in timetable are, what are the improvement scope? Based on the feedback given by the students, particularly for those who are who show disagreement and those who are neutral. So usually we publish timetable weekly. Only in some cases, or for in case of rush, we publish timetable on the daily basis. In case of change in the timetable, a student must be informed through the other communication channels. So Amazon is one, but again, I would say students are not very, some students do not check the Amazon on daily basis. So they should be informed through the other channels as well, that there is a change in the timetable. The timetable to be pasted in door of the classroom, as we have devised this method. It not only helps the visitors to check whether the class is engaged or not, it also optimizes the utilization of the space as well. And this has to be done in the real time as well. And it helps the QA and the head of the institution to monitor the progress as well. So these are the 5 parameters that I have seen. These are the indicative one. There are 29 more. I don't have time to share everything. So I will summarize in 2-3 slides with few keywords like what are the objective of all this survey and feedback. Certainly not to compromise your API score, not to put you on in some different way. But the purpose is to reinforcement of the teaching and learning process. Also strengthening efficiency, transparency, and responsiveness of the academic administrative processes, because academic administration is the one who is responsible for running all the processes. And also to fostering a supportive, inclusive, and student-centric academic environment, which is our objective and also visible in our vision and the mission. So with this talk at the end, we will try to find out the answer of the few questions which I raised at the beginning. The first is how to improve the student engagement. To me, flipped classroom teaching or the 4-quadrant approach is the best way to improve the engagement. How to equip the student with 21st century knowledge and skills and attitude. Skill-based courses, soft skill training is another one in the form of web courses. How to transform knowledge into skill. Workplace exposure is the answer through your NTCC SIL training. How to ensure continuous improvement in curricula, involvement of all stakeholders while designing the curriculum. How to ensure examination system reinforce teaching and learning. Of course, periodic feedback and action plan to fill the gaps. And how to teach the large classroom technology-based engagement, which is very important. ICT-enabled classrooms have been developed. You have all methods with you to ensure the engagement of the student and the teaching and learning process. And still we are seeing that in some cases the ICT-enabled classrooms are not being used fully. We have to ensure that the teaching aids are being used. And how to ensure the lifelong learning, self-learning ability, student involvement and teaching and learning process is very important. Once the students are involved in the learning process, they have been given a task to create their own knowledge, then they would be able to perform and be able to transform the knowledge into the skills and be employable in their lifetime. So this is all about from my side. In nutshell, in very brief, in learning, and at the end I would say, in learning, the questions matter more than the answers. So please share yours if you have anyone, or we keep on interacting on the later stage as well. Thank you very much. This is all about from my side.
Thank you so much, sir, for this informative session. Moving ahead to session 2 on student support and counseling, I request Professor S.Z. Zadi, sir, Director IBAS AIRS, to kindly take the session, sir.
Yeah, I'm Rajiv. Dispose पर लगा दो. Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Deputy Provisor, Dean Academics, I have been asked to speak on the student support and counseling available and required for the good learning ecosystem. You see that the learning ecosystem has six very important components, starting from curriculum, technology, peer culture, faculty infrastructure. And on the basis of all, the foundation of all these things is the emotional support system which we provide to the students. No matter what good curriculum we have, how learned faculty we have, what advanced technology we are having, the infrastructure we are providing, but unless the students are satisfying, students are feeling comfortable emotionally and mentally and socially, this learning system may not be so effective and may not give satisfaction to our students. So I've given the emphasis on the emotional support system, and that is why this is given and the foundation of the whole, all the six systems. And it's all interconnected. You see that you give any system, any component less importance, the cycle will not be completed. This चक्र जो घूम रहा है पढ़ाई लिखाई का, ये उसी समय संभव है जबकि when we will have all the six component and that makes the mahal of the learning, the ecosystem of the learning. Next. It is all interconnected. When one element improves or impaired, the whole system gets disturbed or gets benefited. It is all circuitous and it all interconnected. You cannot give importance to either of one. You have to take the care of all the six component equally important. Next. Now the satisfaction we have, this is the very word of this seminar work is the satisfaction, student satisfaction is deeply tied to the mental health, emotional health and social health. Now we have to see that what we really mean by mental and emotional health and the social health. I'm short of time, so I would be running very fast. Next. Emotional health, and this is very important to recognize, to realize for not only among the students, for our own faculty members, colleagues, and it is the earliest indicators which we might consider seriously. And here I will take little more time to explain because it is an opportunity to understand yourself, to introspect yourself, and to observe your students at the very early stage. Recognizing your own feeling, whether we are in a position to understand how we feel right now. There are many persons who lack appreciation of their own feeling in aronia. Many of us may not enjoy, may not feel bad or may not feel good beyond a point. We are very, very restricted in our expression of emotions, or it is a feeling of experiencing, of recognizing of our own emotions. So is the students. Many students may show this serious issue that the person is not only absolutely blunt emotions. We call it blunt emotions. The next is expression of emotion appropriately. It's not only that the emotion is felt, the expression of emotion should also be appropriately. There is a very important express emotion theory which says that it's not only important that you express your emotion, how you are expressing your emotion, at what point, to what degree you are expressing happiness or sorrow or hatred or jealousy and all these things, all depending upon your interpersonal relations, adjustment and overall everyday health issues, mental health issues. Controlling your emotions. There are many persons who are very impulsive, very aggressive, very affectionate, both the sides. It's not only the negative side, it's the positive side as well. That they giggle with the happiness, they express they spread mamta all through. Sometimes this work like giving the sugar to the diabetic person. That if you do not have how to control your emotion, how to feel, how to express your emotion, how to share with emotions. Sometimes you might make your students dependent upon you. They would not be in a position to bear with everyday stress if you are not controlling your emotions, and vice versa, both the side. Recovering from disappointment. Disappointment is the reality of life. Everyone feels disappointed at every morning to evening. But we do not keep on weeping or frustrating or expressing our displeasure. So recovering of disappointment is equally important, and that is in particular in the teaching system, in the teaching students. Every student will not please you. So is the case with anyone. Anyone cannot please everyone. But how to express disappointment and how to overcome the disappointment, that is the mental health. Not having the disappointment is not a sign of good mental health. It is the reality of life. But how to overcome, how to recover from this disappointment is the main issue. Maintaining positive outlook, and despite of all this thing, you have to navigate with stress. Positivity is not closing your eyes. Positivity is not the denial of the reality. Positivity is that, and despite all the adverse situation, you have to be hopeful. In my room, there are many people who have visited my room. I have mentioned that ये वक्त भी गुजर जाएगा, ये समय भी गुजर जाएगा. It means that today you may not having everything very goody, but you have every reason to hope that tomorrow would be a good day. सूरज कहता मुझको देखो, रोज डुबाया जाता हूं, फिर भी नित दिन नया सवेरा लाता हूं. So you have to sleep the night with the hope that you will have a light in the morning, and this light in the morning is nothing but the positive outlook. Next, social health, which is again very important component for student satisfaction, and we have to promote, we have to check, we have to keep an eyes on individual students, all these parameters. Social health means communication skill. It's not only that you have to develop communication skill. We have a number of classes, number of programs to develop the communication skills. Do we also go through, our faculty members, our HOIs also going through our own, having any introspection on our own communication skills? Our communication is not, everyday communication is not hurting others? Are we, when people are feeling like talking to us, students are feeling like approaching to us? These are the communication skills, these are the social health, which is very important. Healthy relationship. What we talk about a relationship, we are not referring to the relationship which nowadays students are very commonly seeing with the girlfriend or boyfriend. Relationship means when you meet others, you feel that you are interacting with a good person. The most definition of a personality is that after interaction, the impact which you leave with others is your personality. Whether your person to whom you have been interacting would like to meet you once again or not, or he will avoid interacting with you, that is the healthy relationship, and that is very much required to develop a good learning ecosystem, relationship with the faculty, with the bosses, with your juniors, with the support staff, with the students, the guardian, and everyone. It's very important. Support systems available. Whether all these things are available as per the UGC guideline on the book, or it is available in Vivo, whether it is any well-defined, well-structured support system or not. And I'm sure that our university that way is very good in providing support system, which I will be discussing after 1 or 2 slides. Awareness of socio-cultural norms. This is very important, particularly for beginners of the first semesters or second semesters, that they come from the different diverse society, diverse culture, diverse language, diverse socioeconomic status, diverse religious background, faith, and all these things. And we must give respect to each religion, each diverse population, each all norms and all these things. That is why it is very important that awareness, we have to make students aware, and we have to make ourselves also aware that the population to whom we are dealing coming from different cultural norms, and so we have to see that the cultural norms are not violated, their cultural regards is not violated, social values, we are teaching the social values, human values, only because of this only. And the last point up in this slide is boundaries. लक्ष्मण रेखा से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट कोई मैसेज होता नहीं कभी. We must know to what extent we get friendly, what is our boundaries in both the side. If you have expressed your displeasure, you should know what is the boundaries. You should know what language you should speak. There are number of cases when unfortunately I've been dealing with this, that the faculty has expressed very adverse, very retrogative, very adverse comment on the students, and a student has directly reported to me because we did not know what is our boundaries of speaking, what is our boundary of using of the words. So this is also very important. Friendship, sometimes we go to the extent that we started crossing the desirable physical distance between one faculty and another, and between one student to another. There are cases, when 2-3 cases recently, last year itself, when there was no sense of boundaries and the faculty was separated. So that we have to make very clear about it. Next. Counseling services available. Now what services we are providing to this? It is available for students, day scholars as well as hostelers. Faculty member, good number of faculty members are interacting with me, with my counseling colleagues for their own personal issues. Support staff, family members, even the students have brought their parents, their brothers, sisters, and the faculty members have brought their relatives for consultancy for their own emotional support and their own mental health issues. Next. SOP. How to go about? What are the method we are opting to? I'm sure all of you are fully aware that counseling unit is situated in IBAS, 3rd floor, AB6. Time 9:30 to 5:30. Prior appointment after, other than emergency. If there is any issue, any emergency, there is no prior appointment is required. But if it is well in advance, then we would be very happy to give you appointment, and we should be in within 9:30 to 5. Monday to Friday, offline, the student can report directly to me. HYPL can refer the students with brief note. This is important because sometimes students want to take the support, but they are equally concerned about the attendance. So they want that, sir, if my PL or my HY is also aware of it, you see that there's a dilemma. Some students are not willing to come through the HY and the PL because of confidentiality. Other students are willing to come through this because they are worried about the attendance, that they are coming here frequently, twice or thrice in a week for 1 hour. So what about their attendance? So this dilemma has to be worked out, where the confidentiality is maintained as well as the attendance is also not damaged. Parents can contact us directly. There are many parents who are contacting. Hostelers can seek support by telecounseling after 5:30 p.m. every day. In fact, quite often we get the phone call in the late hours. Myself or my colleagues working on this telecounseling are getting phone call from students in the midnight, late night. That, sir, I am having this problem, I have that problem. At that time, we did not ask that whether you are hosteler or you are day scholars. I'm sure that many of them would be day scholar as well. For administrative point of view, I personally ask whether you are hosteler or not, that if there is any serious risk involved for self-injurious behavior, so that administration of hostel can be informed or the parents can be informed. But there is no restriction that the only hosteler will give us call that late nights or the day scholar would not. We entertain both of them. Next. Now, what is the flow chart? How we proceed when the client is reporting to us? Client reports to IBAS. Number 2, faculty coordinator Dr. Sajid Kazmi is the coordinator of these services. He will register the case. Then he will refer the case to me for initial interaction. I will be conducting the detailed this interview and diagnostic formulations and all these things. Thereafter, I will be allocating the case to one clinical psychologist or consultant, and consultant or clinical psychologist would conduct need-based assessment and intervention. And thereafter, the sixth stage, we'll review the case periodically. First of all, we'll discuss the case, that what is the issue about it, and how to work it out, what support we can give it. We also call it technically case conference, but the case discussion I have mentioned over here because not to give the status of mental health serious issue, that is the case conference, but definitely we do case discussion. Next. Common problem that students report, and some of the faculty, for some of the other members have also reported this thing. Adjustment reaction, mostly due to homesickness and cultural variation. Very, very common in the first semester, first year, particularly UG first year. The second most common is anxiety and panic attack. Panic attack is usually because of situational reactions and anxiety for covering, understanding the course curriculum, bearing the work pressure and the time factor, particularly attendance at DBAR is one of the very important trigger points for anxiety and these things. And this is also seen in the last semester because of the academic completion and career uncertainty. And thereafter, addictive behavior. Unfortunately, it is increasing across the campus, and the gender, there is no gender bias, there is no gender variation into this. Quite often I get, but for that we have to be very, very professional in deciding what is the condition. Yesterday itself, I got a phone call, I got a intimation from one of very senior person that a student who appeared into examination was absolutely intoxicated, and he put his head on the table on the examination hall itself, and thereafter he could not write anything. And then I gone through these papers. He was on the anti-epileptic drugs. He was on the antipsychotic drugs. And that drugs is known for causing intoxicative reactions. His error was that, his parents' error was there, even his doctor error was that. He was not advised to take the medicine in the morning before the examination. He took the medicine at the 8:30 at the morning after breakfast. And by the time he reached to this place, he was absolutely intoxicated, not in a position to write anything. Had this services was not available, had I was not in a position to discriminate, he would have been easily stamped as a person coming to the examination hall under intoxicating condition, which he was not. He was under drug prescribed by doctors. So the addictive behavior is very, very serious issues in increasing, and it requires very strict vigilance for all, particularly in the intoxicants, particularly in the cigarettes, as well as the mobile. Relationship concern, this is another very spreading issue, but not only in our campus, it is all everywhere, all through, and time takes its own course. We need not to intervene much about this because this is something which has become the lifestyle. However, if it is causing the stress to the extent that the academic performance is impaired, and for that matter, any stress is serious stress. If the student stop functioning, if you cannot work even your routine work, if there is a perceptible deterioration in your performance, then only it becomes serious issues. So career uncertainty. This is problem which we are noticing in the last semester. Subclinical psychotic pathology. Subclinical means that the person sometimes gets very weird thought process, queer thinking, but not to be diagnosable, not to the extent that the person can be diagnosed and can be labeled as a psychotic, or schizophrenic, or manic depressive psychosis, but there is a nucleus, and every stress might create this problem. And many times we have seen these cases. Self-injurious behavior, not amounting to suicidal attempt, cutting the vein and cutting the nerves and all these things. This is another problem which is a very important symptom of borderline personality, which is increasing, which is not increasing. It was before also. Now we have started realizing that there is something like that which requires support. And in this case, most of the time it would be a attention-seeking behavior, so has to be handled properly. has to be handled properly. Vague thought disorders, that I'm doubtful that the person is after me, or that the faculty would damage me, faculty would harm me, faculty would make me fail, and all these things. These are the issues which quite often the students are reporting. Next, Ajay. Please, just a minute. Okay. Now, our counseling team, myself, Sajid, Dr. Soni, Dr. Nirja, Anshuma Dubey, Saima, Nandini, Achal, we are all working together to resolve these issues. Next. Now, the answer of the question which Dr. Rajesh Tiwari sir, our Dean Faculty, has mentioned, that why there is a neutral response, frequent neutral response. Sir, this speaks of three things. One is the intense desire to give socially desirable response. Neither I am criticizing your system, nor I am appreciating your system. This is very common thing. Another common reason could be that non-serious attitude towards replying your feedback. It is just automatically per se form bharna hai to form bharna hai. And third thing, which is a serious issue, that is ambivalence. I love you, I hate you. It is not to you, sir. I
It
don't.
is the system as well.
It is a system. I love system. I love system. I hate system. So this is ambivalence, which sometimes compel a person to give this type of unmindful answers. Otherwise, it is should not be, and this answer should be discarded. Should not be taken at all.
I agree with you, sir. But we need to also focus on this lot as well.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
why they are not in the mainstream and why they are showing their resentment in a different way.
Yes.
So,
Yes. We cannot reach to any conclusion, but we can
Right.
definitely analyze the situation.
Right, sir.
Thank you very much. Any other question? We may have it. Otherwise, I try to finish, rush up very fast so that the time is compensated. Thank you very much. Over to Khandelwal sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the importance of robust student support and counseling system. Moving ahead to session 3, re-registration, registration and student satisfaction, I request Dr. Rajiv Verma, sir, Dean Student Welfare and Deputy Director Academic Affairs, to kindly share his insights on registration, re-registration and student satisfaction.
Thank you, Dipti, and good afternoon, everyone. And since we have very little time, and Ram has spoken.
No, sir, we have 1 hour. You just keep sharing your thoughts freely.
Because
no
this
problem
is the,
at all, sir.
Sure, sir, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This is very important.
6 बजे तक बैठाया जाएगा.
For this university system, I think this is the very first and essential and the most important thing is registration and registration, because our entire strength of students is completely dependent on registration as well as re-registration also. So if we are getting a admission of around 3,000 and there is a withdrawal of around 3,300 students or 200 students, then it's a big number. That it's a matter of concern. Anyway, we all are trying to just work on this. These are rules and continuous improvement. And this is the overview for the registration process. I think everybody is well aware that we have got the very good system for registration, and this is a well-defined system, as the academics had already spoken, that this is completely student-centric and for student satisfaction also. That's why the registration is the first essential step, and there are certain steps. I think for registration, there is almost around 10 steps, and it's a completely online system through Amazon. And why this is important? This is important as everything is defined in a timely manner. So, first of all, the verification of admission letter, and most of the part for this process is being completed by the Academic Affairs Department. But definitely this is very much important for all the HOIs and the PLs and faculty members to coordinate with the student, as because at the time of admission, after completing 12, so this is the completely new system for every student. So there is as we have got the well and defined system, there is a uploading of certain academic requirement, their documents, the mark sheet, certificates, and the scrutiny for concerned academic affairs. They are working for this, and there are certain undertaking which is which has been done by the students as well as the parents. Then, after completing certain formalities, there is a system for provisional registration, and which is being done by the Academic Affairs Department after the verification of all the documents. And there are certain mandatory paper, and this is anti-ragging. This is the online, which is being done by the students as well as for the parents also. But there is a one paper which is in form of hard copy, which is indemnity bond. This they will have to submit at the time of their commencement. And this is very much important for all the HOIs and program leaders to ensure that the entire registration process and the whatever required requisite papers are required from the student should be uploaded. And because there are certain paper which is very much required, like their Aadhaar card, their mobile number, their mail ID, then there are certain paper, and this is the complete process for registration. If they are submitting the entire paper, then they will get the green signal on their Amazon for the registration. And the complete process, this is as well defined process. And before the, I think at the time of before orientation, we used to conduct one session for students, those who have already taken admission in our university. So, but I request all the HOIs and all the PLs and the faculty members to please look into this matter, because the admission of students for our university is very much important. So, if they are feeling any technical issues, so they can direct contact academic affairs or with the concerned faculty members. And another important thing is re-registration, which is another challenge for university. Why this re-registration? Re-registration is after completing first semester, there is a automatic portal of all the students. And after porting, whether they are eligible or not eligible, there is a porting. For if they are ported, then they will have to deposit the fees. Now the main thing is start after submitting the fees. Most of, I think around 15 to 20% students, they are not submitting the fees. And 80% they used to submit well in time. So the challenge is with the 20%. So we all are working, the entire university and the system is working for the
राजीव सर डिस्कनेक्शन हो गया आपका, शायद कहीं रीकनेक्ट करना होगा.
सर अनम्यूट कर लीजिए.
Thank you. So again, for the re-registration, we all are working for the all entire academics department, academic affairs department. They all are working for the re-registration of the student. All the HOI, they are also working to get the re-registration of all the students, but there are certain constraints for a few of the students. They are unable to pay fees on time. Because why they are, this is very much important, because when they are registered, then their APW and other thing will be open, and they are liable for getting the attendance, which is very much important for all the students. That's why the entire registration system is very much important. So it's another our request that this is entirely defined system, and there is a guideline The guideline G26 is the guideline for registration and registration. So I request everyone to please go through the detail. If there is any technical glitch or if there is any genuine issue for re-registration of any students, please write down in genuine case, but don't forget and just forward this any case to the university. If there is a genuine case for their fees issue or any personal issue, please write down their issue and forward it to us. We will try to work out with them with their fees and other things. And since Dean Academics are already covered that this is the entirely student friendly and student centric system. So we all are working for the student satisfaction. Survey is definitely indicative what Zedi sir has just told. So sir, this is simply indicative, nothing to think and nothing to worry about this. This is simply indicative. That's why the entire system is there. But I think the university and the QA department has already developed this satisfaction questionnaire and other thing to get the real picture of the entire system. So satisfaction of a student is very much important. The entire IVAS department and Zedi sir and the student welfare department, we all are working together just for their satisfaction, whether they are residing in the hostel or residing outside the hostel. So as for the registration and the re-registration system, everybody is well aware this is a well-defined system, and if we follow the system, definitely there is a gap of 10 to 15% or maybe maximum up to 20%. If there are issues, then we will try to get it resolved under the AUUP norms and whatever is possible from all of us, we used to get it resolved. And this is this is very much important for all the faculty members. Not because as if you talk about the system, there is a mental mentality system, another system is also there. But if any faculty members or the PL or anybody is getting any information that if the students are getting any issue, genuine issue, then everybody is well aware that we have got the implemented the single window clearance system also just to resolve their student issues. And this is the post-registration feedback which I have already spoken that the QA department and the industry has developed this system. So I request everyone to please, if you are working for the student, for their welfare, so if all are working in a same platform, that I think the entire feedback and the survey and the satisfaction percentage will definitely increase. This is from my side. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, QAE, Professor Khandelwal sir, for giving me this insight for all the faculty members. Although I think everybody is well aware of the entire system.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable perspectives on student satisfaction, registration, and re-registration. We now move on the session 4 examination. I request Dr. Jaspal Kandari, sir, Deputy Director, Academic Affairs Examination, to kindly address the gathering, please.
Thank you, Deepti ma'am and Vijay sir, giving me the opportunity to come up with my insight on the student satisfaction, which has been conducted by the QE department.
जसपाल जी उसको आप प्रेजेंटेशन मोड पर लगाएं स्लाइड्स अपनी.
हाँ जी सर एक मिनट. So just a second. इसका शेयर okay. Is my slide visible to you also?
विजिबल है बट प्रेजेंटेशन पर नहीं है. प्रेजेंटेशन पर नहीं होने से मूव भी नहीं करेगी स्लाइड प्रॉपर्ली. स्लाइड शो पर क्लिक करके देखो.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, now it's perfectly all right.
Thank you, Ms. Dipti and Brijesh sir, giving me an opportunity to have a session on this faculty development program. Creative, impactful learning ecosystem and holistic approach to the student survey through the examinations. So this was basically given me the chance and opportunity to find out the gaps and give the solution, probable solution to where the student they were not able to give their proper feedback to the survey. And basically, if you see the examination as a tool of assessment, it is very important for the academic journey of the student. Student being assessed for a semester, for academic year also, and these are the quality of good assessment. If you see, it is the reliability and consistency should be there in terms of the score distribution, validity in terms of content, criteria, convergent, discriminant. Objectivity should be there in terms of our quality education, comprehensiveness should be there, absence of ambiguity, preparations and appropriateness for time. These are the things which we can say are very important for a quality education of quality for good assessments. Now, feedback analysis in terms of examination, which Director QA shared with us, and we have submitted our feedback also. This questionnaires is basically a student they give feedback on different parameters in terms of examinations. These covers preparation time given for final examinations to the students. Examinations are conducted in a fair, disciplined, and organized manner. Third point was the visitors reach timely to the examination hall. Results are timely declared. Student get the proper guidance in terms of re-examinations, and the examination related issues are promptly addressed. We have analyzed and found out that the cases the student who are under neutral category, those who have not responded anyway, in the survey it was like Dean Academic Sir has shared, we have the 6400 students, those are supposed to give response, but out of those responses we have 1343 figure of the student who give the feedback. This is the indicative figure where we found that 15% student they were neutral in giving the response. But our focus should be on the student who are disagreeing with the feedback, or who are given the strongly disagreeing. And through my presentation also we'll find out, and we have suggested few method through which we can guide the student properly and they can give the realistic figure of their feedback, which can be better to our increase in our teaching learning processes. Now, before moving and giving the suggestive way, this is the summary that I have planned out. It is a method of that we call the post-scope technique. This is the technique basically we use in management department, and managers generally use this. They have the planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. But that is in terms of the manager. But here, as a faculty, as a student, if we come into the academic profile, we can also have the post-scope technique to be properly analyzed and formulating according to the requirement. So in terms of education, in terms of examinations, in terms of application part of the post-scope, we can say planning is creating a study timetable and goals. Very, very important for faculty members and for the student as well. Organizing, it is structuring notes and the workspace. Staffing means gathering books, resources, peer review, study material, very, very important, which are confined and necessary for academic journey of a student. We are talking about directing, executing the plan with focus. We have to have we have already in the step one, we have already set the goals. So our achieving the goals is the focused way how we are being directed to reach the focus and the goal. Coordinating, linking topics with the balanced subjects. So coordinating means whatever the content we are being getting, sharing with the student, and the student they are being also themselves studying, that is very much required and it should be coordinated. Reporting, it is again taking a mock test and tracking progress. This is very, very important here. And last is the budgeting. Like in budgeting, we used to have a allocated of budget where we are using our resources, and it should be optimal. And that again, it says about allocating time effectively. Time management very, very important in terms of when we come to teaching, learning, and assessment of the students. And overall, if you apply this post-scope technique, it is showing the efficiency, the fairness, transparency, and the student satisfaction in overall nutshell. Now, coming to the one by one analysis, if you see the questions with 6 different questions were there, the student had given the feedback to us. in this survey. So it is showing us again, we will be focusing on this presentation, focusing on the percentage where the neutral, disagree and strongly disagree are reflecting in front of us. Now, in order to, like, student questions were their preparation time given for the final examination is enough. So maximum student they have given like 70% they are neutral, 6% they say they disagree, and 11% they say strongly disagree. Now, probable solutions to these can be like, as a faculty, as an institution, as an HOI, as a program leader, it is very important for publishing our academic calendar at the institutional level, because we have been receiving the academic calendar from the university, but at the where the student, we are the stakeholders, where we need to have a institutional planning done, and that calendar should be need to be planned and executed. Timely completion of syllabus 1 to 3 weeks before exam. We should avoid we should reserve classes, or we can say ki buffer classes for revision should be there before the time given for the examinations. Limited academic overload, we should avoid cluttering of assignment at the last moment. Internet tests to be conducted well in time, not to take the courses or these activities to be conducted very near to the examinations. A structured revision period, revision or weekly preparations, these are very much necessary, where new topics should not be introduced, and faculty are available for doubt reviewing sessions. Very, very important, because the student they may be coming us with the doubt any moment of time before exams. Even on day of exam, they are searching for some options. They may get in clue and they can write better in examination. This is very, very important. Provide study resources in advance through LMS. It is already we have been doing, and very much meticulous planning to be done. Previous question paper will help the student in better performing their examinations. Mock test and practice session tests we have been conducting. This need to be strengthened. Academic support, extra classes, and monitoring of weaker students. We are talking of the students who are not able to perform well, so those need to be handled very carefully, because ultimately these are the students who think like we are giving the feedback, so they are not able to analyze themselves ki what the actual feedback they should give. So my apprehension goes ki these are the neutral students. We have found that neutral 70%. These may be the students who are not able to find themselves comfortable giving the feedback. And definitely we have the close monitoring in terms of the faculty, PL, mentors are there, and outcome will be ultimately better performance and reduce distress of the students in preparing for the exam before they enter the examination halls. Second question was the examination conducted in a fair, disciplined, organized manner. Well, here also we have found out that the 17% students they are neutral, and disagree they are 3%, and again the strongly disagree they are 6%. Now probable, we can say that the studies though need to be adopted as, because we have been doing this in every semester, and there's a meticulous planning each one is of us required to do. First is the pre-examination studies, planning and preparation. Second is the during examination, execution and monitoring, and third is the post-examination, that is evaluation and accountability. Because the time is very limited, so I will not go into detail, but these are very much we have been doing day in and day out during our academic connectivity with the students and the institutions. Third point is the invigilator reach timely to the examination hall. Here, again, the neutral response is 11%, disagree is 3%, and 5% strongly disagree. Now, we have improvised the system now. We have used the technology very, very much into the processes. Even the invigilators who are reaching for the duty, they have been assigned the invigilation duty through the Amazon, and they're getting it a day before on the day of exam, in which room, how many students, which course they are going to perform the duty. So that is being done, and for information to all the faculty connected here, we have already received the information from up to 12th of May duty, which the invigilator they are going to perform. So everyone knows that. Now, clear reporting protocol to be followed. We know that control room is there, and that the faculty need to report to the conduct committee. Center superintendent, BMC block is there. Block members are there. We collectively have a team there where they need to report. Now, again, it is time taking process, so the things are very clear and we know. Next is the results are timely declared. Here the response is again 15% they say neutral, and 6% they say disagree, and the ones 8% they say strongly disagree. Ultimately, here the responsibility comes, and onus of responsibility is on our shoulder. The student, they are the stakeholders, and we need to satisfy them with all the extent of their academic performances. So through the slide, we can say that results they are declared timely, strictly following the block calendar and the academic calendar by the university. But there are certain restrictions in case of the regulatory body courses where the Bar Council, Pharmacy Council, RCI, NCT, they have their own calendar and we need to follow those calendars. Till date, the Bar Council of India have certain revised framework for declaration result. So that is the concern. Maybe the student who have not given this neutral given this neutral response or disagree, or maybe those students. But it will be done very soon by the university. Now, in order to have the strategies to be followed for timely declaration, predefined result timeline is important. As I have told, is a block calendar and a calendar of examination activities. Early planning for evaluation work. Panel of evaluators is very, very necessary. And we have been sharing the feedback of the evaluators who have been assigned the allocation work. They are performing they are performing the evaluation, but the pace of working should be speed up, because university says from the last date of exam the 15 days should be there in order to have the result declaration on time. So we all know that once it is delayed, so it will be definitely hampering the process of this entire declaration result. Digital evaluation system, it is in place. Everyone is following that. Deadlines to the examiners. So it is being already being done, meticulously monitored by the HY and Dean. And we have the pool of examiners also, where we have the like many faculty members who are on long leave or medical concern or study abroad, or they have been going for some projects. So we have the standby pool of examiners where the de-allocation and allocation be done. And again, the re-evaluation grievance window planning is there, where the student they may be supported and given proper like accuracy and transparency, and breaking the trust and institutional credibility. Fifth question, like it is talking about you are being properly intimated and guidance given for reappearing exam. Here the student 70% they say it is neutral. They are not much aware of like what is the process going on. Disagree they say 5%, and strongly disagree they say 6%. Again, 17% is a very big number. But centrally, from the examination department, we have been sharing the circulars, guidance through the WhatsApp messaging. Also, we have been intimating the deadlines. By what is the method, what is the strategy, how the student can be guided. Our office is also there to support to all extent to the institutions. But this feedback of 70% seems to be very alarming for us. Now timely intimation, again there is some steps those are being required to be followed by us. Now that is early and direct intimation orientation briefing sessions, because for every student it is very important. Like we are talking of GSSC, guided self study course, that is very much clear and guidelines are there where the faculty members can help out the students. Session conduct sessions, their marking of attendance, satisfaction, dissatisfaction. So these are the very important where the orientation and briefing sessions to be conducted for the student, and then only they can think upon how the re-examination appearance in examination for clearing the backlog is very important. Centralized notification system, it is being done and meticulously followed. Step-by-step guidance, that is procedure, deadlines, payment and all on Amazon is coming, but again it is our duty to handle the student and get that task done. Academic counseling support, opting for back paper, yes or no. Strategies to adopt or managing workload, and help desk queries are there, because institution they have been supporting the student to any extent, but at PL level we can have a pool of faculty members who can help the students, and that definitely transparent schedule and admit card release is there, so that is being done very meticulously. Then the sixth question was this examination related issues are promptly addressed. Here again the neutral percentile is 16%, disagree is 5%, and 7% they say strongly disagree. Again here all the central department is there to help support the institutions to all extent, but 16% feedback seems to be very alarming, because they doesn't know what to do, how to do and when to do. Here role of PL faculty members, mentors, they are very important, where they can handle the student and give the proper solution to the query whatever they have submitted to the institution. Now, probable solutions and the strategies that I have planned out is front of us. That is addressing exemption related issues quickly and effectively requires a mix of planning, communication, and responsive system. It is collective effort of all of us. We are not saying department is there only to help, but collective effort we can solve the student problem then and there and immediately. Now, clear pre-planning, pre-exam planning to be done. Dedicated help desk is there. Real-time communication channels are there. We have been using SMS. We have been MS Teams meeting regularly with the students, their guardians, their parents. Technology integration, adopt robust exemption system is there. So these are the things where we have been doing, but it is much required through this FTP. We have to take away something new learning to be done and improvise the process of our what university demands is student centric. Now, other supporting services which the institution and the department is providing and conduct of examination through PMC. This is the new concept from this session we have been implementing. That is Block Exemption Management Committee. It is in same line with the university headquarters has been doing, where the Block Exemption Management Committee is approved by the competent authorities, and those are in place looking after different areas of aspects of the conduct of examinations. Online setting plan for the students, it is being done. Every student is getting message for that day. Suppose any student of any department having the exam tomorrow, say that they are getting a day before the message in which room, in which seat, in which floor they have the seat number, they can sit in and place themselves for comfortably with exam. We have the summer semester programs, which is still the reminders being sent to all the HOIs and 2ICs and even the PLs also, where this flagship program summer semester is very very important. Where the students who are lacking behind in terms of academic, like slide slide is visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, slide is visible.
Right,
Slide
sir.
is visible.
Right, sir.
If you
So
can
summer,
conclude little early, thank you.
right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We will finish off, sir. So summer semester program is again very important. This is still we are in the time space, and we can help the student to offer to go for these programs, and they can take benefit for their academic journey. I grade provision is there as per regulation. We have been sending reminders for this. Supplementary examination odd even we again for final day students there where they are being asked to fill the form and appear for exams. Appointment of MLSNs for writing examinations. In university give the support to the student who are on the day of exam. They are not able to come up with they are not reached to the examination hall with genuine reasons, maybe on medical or maybe family issues. So the provision of MLSNs is there. They can fill and get the advantage of this. Assistance in creating ABC ID and upper ID. Again, the team is there to help the institutions and the student to creating their ABC and upper ID. Very, very important. From the day one up to the last day of convocation, this ABC and upper ID, they are being required to be student to upload on Amazon, and that is much required. Because without this, at the end of the degree level, when the student goes for convocation, again, it is required there. So faculty may be assisting the student, and if any support is required, so team is there. Rechecking evaluation, it is in place. Provision for checking approvals for extended period. Yes, very much required, because we have been finding cases where the student they have exhausted N+2 for UG program and N+1 for PG program. Here the support system is there. Those cases needs to be analyzed and properly submitted for approval. ISD during MCQ examination, this is in place. Official transcripted students, many students who are who are seeking admission to foreign universities, or they are applying for jobs somewhere, they require the transcript. The provision for this is there, where the student on Amazon they can fill. There is a prescribed fee, they can apply, and they can be assisted and supported by providing the official transcript. Now, program covered under statutory bodies. Again, it is as per regulatory system. We have been following those calendars, curriculum. It is in place. Conduct of convocation, we all know that it is a set pattern, and this is being supported. NTCC and SIL. Our Dean Academic Sir has said about the NTCC, very, very important component part of the student progression and academic credibility. So NTCC and SIL, the calendars being shared regularly, closely monitoring to be done by the NTCC coordinator faculty PLs. Verification tend to recruiters, places students. We have been receiving emails, multiple emails, because this is now the time where the companies they are recruiting our graduates, our final student, they are sending the verification to us. We have been doing so very within no gap of taking like say 1 hour or 2 hours. So we are verifying those documents parallelly. Grievance redressal through suggestion box. Suggestion box on Amazon is there where the student submitting query to us, those who have been redressed and those have been responded immediately. Award of alternate degree or diploma and certificate. The student who are not able to cover up their like any period of time n plus 2 or n plus extended period, also those have exhausted and still they are not able to find out any scope of getting the degree. The provision of alternate degree and diploma certificate is there by the university. So our hand holding with the student is very much required in order to make them more satisfied with the processes. Our hand holding should be there with the student where that they can give us the more realistic feedbacks in terms of the parameters. So this is the my last slide, and thank you to all of you for patient listening. And any query, our department is there to help. And thank you so much for giving me opportunity to share my vision, and the probable options to the feedback with the student given. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your informative session on examination related processes. We now proceed to next session on personal development. I request Mr. R.K. Singh, sir, HOI, SN Department, to kindly conduct the session.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Is my full PPT visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir, yes, it is visible,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you very much, Khandelwal sir, for giving me this opportunity to talk about personal development and employability aspect of student satisfaction. Sir?
Please carry on. Please carry on.
Okay, some noise was there. So, as all of you have seen that we are talking about different aspect of student satisfaction survey, and personal development is one important aspect of a student development survey. Before starting the personal development aspect, I would like to, it's not, the slides are not moving, sir. Okay, can you see this next slide? Now,
Yes, sir.
this is what I'm going to cover in next 12 minutes or maybe lesser time than that. Initially, 12 minutes were given to me. First, the survey insights. What does this survey indicates? Then the kind of gap which is there in the survey which is visible. What strategy will be adopted by ASCENT, and what are the collective responsibilities and the collective roadmap which we can create to satisfy students and the path forward. Because as you have seen in this survey, there are neutral to strongly agree, shared institutional commitment is required to convert these neutrals to strongly agree. So before I start, let me once again remind the leadership's vision. Our Honorable Founder President, sir, he says, and I quote, "My mission is nation building through education and beyond." And the second point is very much student centric. Each one of our students will be a success story. This is my dream. This is my commitment. And we are there to fulfill the commitment of our Honorable Founder President, sir. Now, this vision is very clear. It tells us about that success is not optional. Success is not optional for a student. It is our responsibility, and we must deliver for every student. So when everyone has a very clear alignment with the vision of our Honorable Founder President, sir, student satisfaction level will go higher and better. And I'd also like to quote Dr. Aseem Chauhan, sir, Honorable Chairman, MT University Lucknow campus. Our endeavor is to nurture holistic world citizens who are driven by human values and equipped to excel on a global stage. So there are three important things. One is holistic development, which is beyond academics. In addition to academics, global readiness, that means the skills and exposure both to the student, and human values, the kind of ethical leadership which we provide to every student. And this vision also aligns perfectly with our approach, developing not just employable graduates, but globally competent individuals. And now I'm coming to the question of the survey. Now, the first question which was asked by the student in the survey related to personal development aspect was, my communication skills are now more effective, in which they answered to agree, disagree, strongly disagree, and neutral. The second question was, I have developed personal confidence through my university experience. The third question was, I have developed confidence to explore new ideas. And the last question was, my university experience has improved my employability prospects. The question is related to communication skills and employability skills. And this is how the students answered. Now, the students, it is almost similar with the other answers. 660 students said that they strongly agree that their communication skills are now more effective. 312 agreed, 230 remain neutral, and 61 disagreed. And there is a big number, 80. They strongly disagreed, and they said that their communication skills are not effective at all. And then the second question, develop personal confidence through university. Now, when we talk about confidence, it reminds me one of the very famous lectures of George Manik Shaw, in which he talks about confidence. And he says that confidence is directly related to competence. If you develop competence in any person, the confidence will automatically be reflected. Incompetence breeds lack of confidence or sometimes overconfidence as well. So developing confidence through university degree is developing competency factors, which includes the core competency, which is related to domain knowledge, and the other areas, skills and other attributes which a student learn while in the university. And the last question was, university experience improved my employment prospects. So basically, most of the courses are employability related, and 622 students said that they strongly agree. Now, if you look at the number, total responses were 5,372. If we combine the positives, strongly agree plus agree, the figure is around 71%. And neutral 18% and negative 11%, that comes around 29% in total. So if we further look at this survey, what are our strengths? That our 72% combined positive responses reflect that the students feel the university's experience built their voice and their self-confidence. Their communication skills, 972 students have shown positivity. But what are the gaps we must close? Now, only 67.54% students said that their employment prospects have improved. And a significant number, 258 students remain neutral. And for me, this neutral is signaling that they don't feel that they are career ready. And this is our primary intervention target. We will have to intervene if the students are not career ready or they feel that they are not career ready. This is an alarming situation. Now, if we look at the data visualization of the survey at a glance, the dark blue side is a strongly agree, and the light blue is neutral, disagree, and a strongly disagree. So if you look at the chart once again, in major areas, most of the students above 70%, like in other cases, they feel that their communication skills have improved, their personal confidence has improved, their employability quotient has also improved. But we'll have to work on the other aspects. Now, what is the basis of this survey? Now, with the basis of this survey is the aspirational survey, which comes in the background. When the student comes to the university, he or she comes with an aspiration. He or she comes with an objective. And most of the students show their aspirations when they are asked, what do you aspire to become in future? And later on, when they are satisfied, they could give good results. When they are dissatisfied or they don't get satisfaction, they give negative results. Now, broadly, suppose I'm taking example from, say, MBA and asset a student for the example purpose only. Students show that they want to join corporate and management, especially MBA students. They want to aspire to leadership roles in MNCs or consulting firms. Technology and engineering students, they target core engineering areas, IT services, emerging tech domains. And now in aspirational surveys, we have got students' data which talks about joining civil services, public sector, and entrepreneurship also. A growing segment of a student, they want to start a startup. They want to start a social enterprise. So we will have to cater to all these varied aspirations of the students. Now, most of the students are looking for employment or placement through university. And we will have to understand collectively. Our department is training department, which trains a student for corporate placement and other areas of placement. And we are working for the transformation of students. So basically, it is responsibility of every faculty member, every department of the university to make the students employable. And for making them employable, we will have to understand the employer's perspective. The first and foremost thing is that they are looking for, once again, I'm repeating, domain competency. Because if they're hiring a student, if it is a mechanical student, they are hiring a mechanical student for mechanical jobs. If they're hiring an MBA, they're not simply hiring an MBA, they are hiring an MBA for marketing, for HR, for finance, for specific responsibilities. So that's where the domain subject matter expertise in their chosen field becomes utmost important. And then their professional skills, which should be added to their domain competency. In professional skills, there are communication skills, critical thinking skills, data interpretation skills. We have got a World Economic Forum survey report, which is talking about the modern skills which are taken into consideration now, and they are also talking about future skills, future job skills. And the third aspect is the personality and attitude. So combination of all these things make a student employable. And employability is a factor where you should be able to gain employment, you should be able to sustain employment, and you should be able to excel in that field of employment, that area in which you are employed, that area becomes your career. So when we are working on all these aspects, this is what I was talking about, the employability quotient. We will have to enhance the employability quotient of the student, where first, gaining the employment, that they should get placed through skills and knowledge. We should develop, we are still developing, because the survey shows that 70% of students are satisfied with the result. And then we should they should try to excel and grow with leadership and continuous learning, and then sustain. Retain revolves via professionalism and adaptability. Now, this personal development at MIT University is, it can be achieved through gaining opportunity, through preparation, through uh, developing professionalism as a student. And when the students gain, sustain, and excel in their areas, they become thorough professional. Now, we talked about NEP 2020, and I'm also including QS ranking. It talks about the student-centric imperative. Now, improving student satisfaction surveys is important, because, especially in the field of personal development, because it directly contributes to Amity's global ranking, and it also contributes to NEP compliances. That is why it is responsibility of all the faculty members, all the departments of the university. Let me talk about certain NEP principles. National Education Policy talks about learner at the center of all academic design, and it
Sir,
mandates.
we are running short of time. If you can conclude.
Yes, Ravi, I'm coming quickly.
Thank you.
There are certain global parameters also. Now, Ascent has adopted certain things which I would like to share with you. we were running English courses, and we are also once again running English fluency for employability. We are running career progression tracks, specialized aptitude preparation for placement, and corporate readiness master classes designed for networking, LinkedIn optimization, resume strategy. Now, basically, these initiatives will help students to develop English fluency for employability. We'll share these programs with every department you can promote, but initially we are starting the pilot project with MBA and asset student. We are also providing CAT preparation, aptitude for civil services preparation, and campus placement aptitude initiatives. And there are special classes for professional etiquettes and grooming, self-management.
सर भी उसी में हूँ, FDP में हूँ, मैं इसके बाद या
Now, I'm coming to the last few slides. Now, we have Ascent's regular training program, and there are certain pilots program which will be started from this semester. We are going to automate the system. We are going to adopt resume building and resume checking through AI integrated intervention, and a kind of a structured framework where we will help in placement and career readiness, communication competence, and also industry and alumni engagement to help the students. Now, there are different stakeholders. Let me talk about this, because when we talk about overall satisfaction of the student, Ascent is responsible certainly for developing communication skill and employability skills of the student. CRC helps in corporate outreach, in industry engagement, internships, onboarding, training, supervision, and a kind of monitoring mechanism should be there. I have given example of ABS and Asset. They need to develop, or academic alignment is required, timetable integration is required, student mobilization and faculty coordination with Ascent and CRC is required. Ascent will help in aptitude training, soft skill sessions, English fluency courses, and corporate trading things. And students' active participation in all these areas will help them improve. And later on, the survey results will be better. Now, these are the things which can be adopted. Presentation-based assessments should be there, because communication skill is not a one-day thing. If students are giving presentation in their assessments, case study and problem-based learning should be promoted. It will help to develop their question for employment prospects. They should be engaged or promoted to be engaged in co-curricular engagement, and mentorship and industry connection should be revived, and they should be taken care of. There are certain benchmarking. I have done survey of NUS Singapore, MIT, certain top global universities, and they are promoting, as NUS Singapore is promoting mandatory internship credits, and MIT, which is one of the top institutes in all rankings, they have career development competencies woven into every course through project-based learning, industry mentors in the classroom, and structured alumni networking programs. And they are very highly rated by QS, and all the top rated universities follow certain best practices which can be adopted by us also. Now, this is the goal. We want to convert this neutral response into a strongly agree response, because 71% to outstanding. That means there is still a gap of almost 30%, and that survey was not complete survey. So there is a scope of a lot of improvement, and we require a collective commitment where Ascent should deliver structured evidence-based training, and faculty embedded communication should be there, presentation and case-based learning. CRC should expand industry connections, and all the institutions align academic schedules and mobilize students for all kind of training initiatives. And student participation should be ensured for the maximum result. Now, this is the last slide. Personal development is our responsibility. As I mentioned earlier also in our Honorable Founder President's slide, that every MIT student should be a success story. So we should take immediate action.
दीप्ति आ जाओ तुम.
And we should take short-term, bi-monthly or coordination meetings, and we should take a long-term vision where a globally benchmarked MIT Lucknow campus should be placed where every graduate is career ready, confident, and profound ambassador of quality education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating and insightful presentation. We now move to last session on relationship with staff, non-teaching. I invite Professor Dr. Brijesh Khandelwal, sir, Director QAE, to kindly address the session.
Thank you, Dipti. In absence of Nitish Singh ji, Director HR, so like maybe due to technical issue, she is not able to join this online. So let me come up with one slide only for you all. I'm sharing my screen now. Yeah. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Presentation mode में कर दीजिएगा. Yes.
आपकी आवाज बहुत वो ब्रेक हो रही है.
Hope my screen is now visible.
Yes, it is visible. Please
yeah, thank you. Well,
the screen is
as far
visible,
as
your voice is breaking.
My voice is clear now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So with the student satisfaction survey and for the non-teaching staff, there were basically 4 questions. As you can see here, departmental staff provide sufficient information to student. That question was asked. Similarly, student complaints are handled in a timely manner. Third question, staff respond to administrative queries promptly, and fourth is there is an appropriate communication channel between management and the students. And if you can see, our issue of concern is the neutral, disagree, and most strongly disagree. This is in the tune of 25 to 35%, which is a major area of concern for all of us. What we can do as a faculty member, we are having our non-teaching staff in all of our institutions. How smartly we are train, guide our non-teaching staff to deal tactfully with the students. They should be knowledgeous enough to provide sufficient information. Have we given the right information at the right time to our non-teaching staff? Why should they redirect the queries of student to ourselves? They should be answerable there. They should be smart enough with the ready information at their point, and they should give that information. The information dissemination should be there at the non-teaching staff end. Similarly, student complaints are handled in a timely manner. Several complaints are made at the lab only. So can these complaints be redressed at the lab only? So if our lab staff is equipped enough, is capable enough to handle the query, it will never be escalated to our faculty and to other stakeholders. So this can really improve the satisfaction level of students. Similarly, administrative queries. There are several genuine or ingenuine administrative queries of the students that should be tackled very smartly by our staff. So needful training to our non-teaching staff be done at the institution level. This is what our perception is, and so the perception of HR department. So with this and the last question, there is an appropriate communication channel between management and the students. See, my humble submission is the channel is always there. There are a number of channels. Amazon is there, online, offline facilities are there, mentors are there. But above all, the point of contact where a student connect with the staff is the final contact. If the problem is resolved there only, there is no need to call to management. There is no need to call to faculty, and the students is satisfied. So in my belief, because 50% is the faculty, the class interaction, the interaction with the faculty, and 50% the interaction with the non-teaching. So if we can really improve or non-teaching, the interaction of a non-teaching staff with the students, that can serve the purpose. So here I come to end of this slide. I can only say that an institution is built with good space and infrastructure and building all that. Over a span of time, over a period of time, what we gradually witness if the institution is success, we find a scarcity of space, a scarcity of building infrastructure, others. In the same way, what I am noticing today in this faculty development program, we have really witnessed the scarcity of time. We have with us eminent speakers. They were, it was, they were not able to restrict themselves to the time limit, and that is a witness of success of this faculty development program. And thank you very much. Over to Deepti. Thank you.
And now, Dr. Khandelwal, can we allocate few minutes to the speakers if they wish to come up with some queries and doubt?
Yeah, there were few doubts that were there in chat panel.
Yeah. So anyone please come up.
Sir, I think the panelists were given the, so they may not come in the mic. So I think the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
In chat box they can come up.
Yeah. So may I request Deepti to please move ahead. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. As we reach the conclusion of today's faculty development program, I would like to thank you all for your gracious presence and active participation. We sincerely hope that today's deliberation will contribute meaningfully towards enhancing our academic practices and strengthening student satisfaction. Wishing you all a pleasant day ahead. Thank you.
Dean was
Sir, can I close?
Yes, sir.
सर चैट बॉक्स में कुछ क्वेश्चंस हो कुछ सजेशंस हो वो लेने की था सर आई थिंक ऐसा सर डीन सर इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग
because if we are not entertaining the questions and
No,
the
you should
doubts,
entertain.
we are not
There
able to
was
close
few
the loop
questions.
of the FDP.
So there were questions. You also answered a question. There was a doubt in the questions also. You
There is
had
only one
mentioned.
question which I have seen.
I'll
There's
try
no
to
question
get that
at all so far.
chat response and questions of chat from Noida also.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's fine. If there is no question, then we can close.